Well, it was obviously a great win for us, for the program, for a lot of different reasons. That's a good football team. We played offensively. I thought the quarterback was outstanding. His receivers had an excellent day. But at the end of the day, I thought that we showed some real toughness, and I thought our offensive line played exceptionally well. Kent played very well, maybe his best game since I was here. Obviously, we need some things on defense. We got to do a little bit better. But at the 2:27 mark of the fourth quarter, when we needed a stop, those guys came up with a big stop to allow the offense to get the ball back and be able to take that thing down the field. And I thought our special teams was probably as good as we played all year. But we got to keep getting better because we got another tough opponent coming up with Eastern Michigan.
Coach, can you talk about that stop again, and not just your stop, but just defense in general, where you think your defense is?
Yeah, we were struggling in the passing game, and I think the thing that we need to do better is help each other out in the passing game. For example, some of our linebackers got to give our secondary help in some of those mid-range throws. We need to get out underneath flats a little bit better, and then we need to play the ball a little bit better on the back end. And I'm sure those are some of the things that we're going to work at starting tomorrow. But on that stop, they had a 3rd and 8. Ball was about midfield, and it was 2 minutes to go in the game, and the clock was ticking, and we needed to get them stopped. And they threw it out in the flat. Luke got it tackled. We took a timeout. They punted it down to the 4, 5, 6 yard line, and that's where the drive started.
You hadn't seen Spencer in that, I don't believe in that situation, but in high school, that's what he played. One, did you know that, at least in his past, he had that, that mental clock or body clock to play that kind of way? And two, were you surprised by any of it?
Well, I didn't know he had that in his past, and when those situations are unfolding the way they were, all you're thinking about is clock management and completions. If you can get clock management and completions, then you got a chance to move the ball up the field. I thought we did a great job offensive line in that last drive. They didn't get any pressure on the quarterback. He was able to stand in there and to make some good completions. We converted a 3rd and 10. We converted a 4th and 10. And we had a lot of receivers in that drive step up and do some nice things. Eddie Emme made a big catch, and Josh Boyle made a big catch. Matt Hurdle made a big catch. Chris Humphrey made a big catch. So we had some guys step up, and then you had the big run by Trayon to put the ball down on the 5 yard line.
Was that a read or a call?
Which one? The draw? No, that was a call. That was a call. We were going to run it down and try to spike it, and but fortunately for us, they called a timeout at that point in time, which allowed us to actually regroup and talk through the situation, what we were going to do the next 2 plays, which was center the ball and then spike it, which worked out well for us. And had they not called that timeout, we probably would have been in a little bit more disarray, but they helped us out there a little bit.
And that was all because of the run?
It was all because of the run, yeah.
What do you remember of that last drive? How do you keep it together?
Well, when we started the drive, we started deep in the territory, but everyone was so positive and just knew, like, we got enough time, we have the playmakers to do it, and we just got in the huddle. Everyone just focused on their job, and even when we got in the 4th and 10 situation, no one ever had any doubt, and that really helped. And, Spencer made some serious plays instead of the receivers, and everything worked out.
I mean, you guys probably knew, at least conversationally, Spencer being in that situation all through high school with that no huddle.
Right, yes, sir.
No punt, no huddle, whatever it was, type offense that they ran. But is that the first time you've seen that type of from him on the field?
We do that every day in practice, almost a 2-minute drill, and so, he's used to it, and everybody has a lot of confidence in Spencer. No one's ever doubted in him internally, and, he made the plays he needed to make, and here we are after a win.
Is that like a last-minute thing at practice that you guys do towards the end of practice? Where's the 2-minute fit in? And like you said, it's an everyday situation you guys practice in?
We probably do it at least 1 or 2 times a week, and it's at the end of practice. Everyone's real tired, and they turn up the music, so it's real loud. You can't really hear. It's kind of pressure situation, and you go ones versus ones, offense versus defense, and see who wins. So kind of used to the situation.
Coach, not a lot of guys do it ones-on-ones in that, but is that something you brought with you? Or
Yeah.
something you did?
Yeah, that's something we always did where I came from, and you try to create different scenarios of play clock, timeouts, length that you have to travel, what you need, whether it's 6 points, 5 points, 3 points, and you try to put it, and you can never match exactly what's going to occur on the game day. And we had not practiced one that deep in the end zone or coming out of the end zone, but we've practiced 2-minute probably, if I had to say, probably 18 to 20 times prior to that game throughout camp and practices. And Kent's right. We got it in last week one time on Wednesday. Prior to that, we would get it in camp probably every third day just to handle that situation. So it was nice to see the guys really show some poise and some patience in that situation, and there was very little panic.
Has Spencer locked up the starting job?
I think he played very well, and right now I feel very comfortable with Spencer.
Is he definitely starting this weekend?
Unless something happens this week, he's definitely starting.
Do you like to
Yeah,
have?
I do. I like. You'll still see Fisher at some point in time. We'll give him a series here and there. We would like to give him another one on Saturday. The one that he was only in for 3 plays, and we ran a naked and a couple other things. But we'd like to get him some more plays so he has some field experience, because he does bring something different to the table than Spence does.
You said that you had scripted when you wanted to bring him in, and it looked like that too, because it seemed like Spence had just started to get hot when you put him in. Did you consider changing that?
Nope.
And just go through that process. I mean, did you even, you thought I can't
You're
go
absolutely.
against what I said?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that in my mind. I couldn't go against what I said, because if I thought that we needed to, I would have gone against what we had prescribed. But I felt comfortable at the time that the offense was doing well, that we could put him in, and he would continue to do well. And I have confidence in David, and I have confidence, obviously, in Spence. So it didn't bother me that it was the 4th series, I believe, and we were putting him in, and then it came down over the headset. I said, yeah, let's put him in. So.
And how much does it change what you guys are doing, because those quarterbacks do bring different things to the table? And is that difficult to adjust in game like that?
I don't think it's difficult. I mean, from my point of view, whoever's calling the plays, I don't know what's going on back there. I just kind of doing our job. And, I mean, I like both of them are good players, and I have full confidence in both. So whoever's in there, I mean, we just got to make it work with whoever's there.
Does cadence change? There's got to be little subtleties there.
The cadence is the same. We work, because in practice we work with both of them, so if there's any difference, you don't even notice it because you're so used to both of them. And, I mean, you don't really miss a beat. It's just a new person, but same cadence.
Does it mean anything to kind of break new ground? The idea that it's been 25 years since the team's been 3-1. You're off to a 3-1 start, win again at 77. Does breaking new ground and doing new things that haven't been done matter?
You don't put a lot into that as a coach. The only thing you're thinking about is every single game is its own separate entity, and you know that what's been done this season, 25 years ago, doesn't matter. It has no reflection on what's going to happen in your next against your next opponent. Our main focus is to get ready for the Eastern Michigan, and we don't have time. We don't have the time to waste on figuring out the records before and all that. We'll figure that out after the season's over.
Coach, there's nothing the opposition can really do in terms of win or whatever you give Drury the ball offensively. But they can dictate to some degree if they're going to kick to it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing after 4 or 5 games on, philosophies coming around?
Yeah, and we probably outthought ourselves a little bit the other day. After he returned the big one, We brought out 3 returners. I don't know if you remember this. We brought out 3 returners, and I thought they were going to pooch it to our left. So we put him over to our left, and we put Eric deep and Josh Boyle to the right, hoping that they would pooch it to him. But they kicked it deep. And I don't know if that was an adjustment by them when they lined up, say, kick it away from me. But that's the hard thing for us as a staff right now is going in, when you start to put the game plan together for kick return, are they going to kick it to him? If it were me, I would not kick it to him. So how do you get the ball in kick return to Dre Archer, and where do you put him? You try to hide him, you try to stack him, you try to move him around. But it's a chess match. You really don't know what they're going to do. And you know, the worst case scenario is you're probably going to pooch it, and we're going to get it on the 35 if we take care of our business.
What you're not seeing is what you thought in college football in general. You thought people thought there'd be a lot of kicks out of the end zone.
Touchbacks.
You're
Yeah.
not seeing that.
Not getting a lot of those, and I don't think.
Surprised by that?
It's all about kicker strength, the leg of the kicker, and we've had some kickers that their distance has been 2 yards deep to the goal line, so we've had some opportunities. Now, when you get a good kicker like Freddie, who can kick it 7 or 8 yards deep, it's different. The whole game plan changes. And if we were playing against Freddie, I'd probably only take 1 return in. But when you play against a guy who can kick it in the field of play, you probably need to take 2 or 3 different returns in.
Is that bag of tricks empty, or is all the different returns?
No, there's a few extra returns we haven't used yet.
Ken, Coach said one of the worst possible situations to be in after a kick return is 35 yards, which is a pretty good place to start your drive. What does that really mean to you and the offensive line to have a shorter field to start your drive?
You know, having Dre is a huge deal for us because when we see the ball at the 35, everyone's up, excited, and we have a short field. We'll have to get probably with Freddie, not many yards to get field goal at least, and it just brings the morale up and everyone's excited, and it just really helps. Because when you start deep, you're kind of like, okay, first things first, let's get a first down and punch it out and not make the punter in the end zone. But when you start out there, you're thinking points immediately, and that really helps get everything started.
Coach, can you give a quick brief summary on what you're expecting from Eastern Michigan?
Eastern's a very physical team. They're going to run the football. Then they're going to play action pass you. They've played 4 pretty good opponents. Played Ball State and Illinois State, played Purdue, and played Michigan State. 4 very good opponents. And they tried running the ball and tried play action, faking on offense. And they like to play another team that we're going to see that plays cover 4, which try to get those safeties down in the box to stop the run game. And they're coming down hard. So we got to do a good job of making sure we block those guys. But it's a team that that's going to play extremely hard, and they have a lot of talent. So we got to be ready to go.
Anything else? You're back on the road again. No chance to kind of get settled at home. You come from a place where you're able to usually settle in for maybe 4 or 5 home games in a row. How different is it from that level to this?
Well,
In terms of getting ready?
when you travel, you got to get used to where you are quickly, your locker room and your meeting rooms and all those things. So we got to do a good job, and I thought we did a good job when we went to Buffalo, being very businesslike and making sure that the main focus was to get prepared those last 48, 36 hours before the game, and that's critically important because, as we've mentioned before, the dimensions are all the same, but it's the getting acclimated as fast as you possibly can to make sure we're ready to go when you kick the ball off.
You talked about Matt Hurdle too. You said that you thought he was coming. It's kind of a breakout thing for him.
The thing that I see and I've seen all season long about Matt is he's played extremely hard in the run game. I mean, he comes in there, he's been whacking the safeties and really working at the run game. So you know that at some point in time that's going to translate into the passing game. And I was glad to see him make some plays for us Saturday. We ran a crack and go pass with him coming out of the half, and it was pretty wide open, which was good to see. But he also made some pretty good catches around tight company.
Where are you at with Tyshawn?
Tyshawn, we're gonna get a second opinion this week and see where he is. Sometime on Thursday, we're gonna get a second opinion, make a decision what we want to do with him.
Has redshirt come up? Or-
It has.